And away we go. So before I start the episode, I have to address something. During the process of me publishing one of my previous episodes to this podcast, Riverside, get your crap together. What I've been through today to publish one of my episodes as of this recording, ridiculous, outrageous behavior. Come on, man, do better. It's absolutely ridiculous, man. How can you mess that up? It is so dang simple. And yet, there was an error at some point in me exporting. That's all I have to say. It's not that deep, even though I went on a full-on short monologue about it. How can a platform make a mistake so bad? I believe people on Riverside know the stress that they're in, the hot water they're in boiling and bathing themselves into right now. So that they'll have to do something. They don't have much of a choice. They have to do something. So, on with the episode. Let's see what me and the lads have sent to the group chat. Shall we see on our respective pipelines? What is social media feeding us at this time of the week? For some reason. Alright, so Eric sent a Twitter X post by the account Coinvo at Coinvo. Or could it be Coinvo? Not too sure. The caption reads, Breaking. Department of Justice has deleted over 65,000 pages of the Epstein files, and the picture in that post is Jeffrey Epstein wearing a Harvard hoodie. Well, it's a good thing. Good thing there's a website called jmail.world where we can look at all of the documents, the photos, and all the email responses that Jeffrey Epstein has made, or even involved with, which he certainly has done. So yeah, the DOJ can do whatever they can, whatever they want. The damage is done. The damage is certainly done. And also, why are we still talking about the Epstein files? Unless there's more information that will come out eventually. But we'll just have to wait and see. I'm on one side, on the other side. One thing's for sure, the stance I take in this situation, whoever's involved, and there is clear evidence that these people have done terrible wrongdoing, lock them up and throw away the key. It's not enough just to say, oh, this person's involved. What have they actually done? What has these people done actually as bad as what Epstein has done? We'll have to wait and find out. Time will tell. They will certainly tell. Alright. Eric has sent another Twitter X post by the account uncensored.ai at Scott Uncensored. The caption reads, This one has human sacrifice written all over it. Eric then responded to that post saying Aiden allegedly sacrificed his older sister. I just saw the link, I didn't actually go into the Twitter X post, and uncensored.ai did a quote post to a story by TMZ. The caption of that post reads, Exclusive. Aiden Ross' sister, Madeline, has died at 36. What we know. And then there's a link, which I can't read because my brightness on my phone is so low. A Twitter X user asks for Grok, asking, what are the possibilities of it being a sacrifice since both his sister have passed away? Grok then responded with, Aiden had 3 sisters. One died years ago from heroin addiction. He's spoken about it openly in interviews. Madeline passed January 15th in Broward County, Florida. Cause/manner still pending per medical examiner. No foul play noted. The influencer is alive and active. 0. Evidence supports sacrifice or conspiracy in either death. Pure speculation with no backing. Tragic losses. Full stop. And you know what? I can't argue with that. even when Eric says that this is some kind of sacrifice, and that does not mean I'm going to trust on what Grok is saying, unless there is clear evidence, which you won't get from mainstream media or legacy outlets. Who's to say that if this was even a sacrifice of any sort, or just sacrificing anyone? I'm not saying. I'm not going against Eric, nor will I defend Grok on what the response that it provided for the post about what Aiden Ross did to his sister being the sacrifice, unless there's any evidence that is publicly available. It is hard to tell, and you can't, and it's just a rumor. Even if there is a chance, it is remotely true. Again, it's just rumors. We can't be too certain until there is proof that what's been said about you know who is actually true. I'll leave it at that. Alright. I did a social media video dump where I sent in a stack or in bulk multiple social media videos which I've thought on my most of these are just from Instagram. So I just bulk dump lots of Instagram reels I've seen on my algorithm to the lads just a few minutes before recording the last episode that I did. The first one, this one's funny. I'll turn up the volume so you can have a listen yourself. This one, I was laughing my backside off. It's hilarious. I had to.
Oh my god! It's a liar! Yeah.
Halfway playing that video, I was laughing a bit myself. Again, it was just that funny, in my opinion. That's great. Madness. Alright, the next Instagram reel in the bulk dump to the group chat. Yeah, Jim Carrey attended an award show in France. And I think that because when I saw one of the posts, Jim Carrey accepting an award, he was trying to speak French, which, from my perspective, tells me he was in France for an award show and he was trying to speak French. And you know what? Not too bad. Since that award show, I've seen a lot of posts related to Jim Carrey online of people saying that the Jim Carrey you saw at that award show is not the real Jim Carrey. And there is loads of videos, there's lots of people saying and pointing out key details about Jim Carrey that shows the Jim Carrey that was at that award show is not the real Jim Carrey. One of the things that a lot of people point out to is the eye color. Jim Carrey originally had brown eyes. The Jim Carrey at that award show had blue eyes. That is one of the key details a lot of people are pointing out. Like, how come Jim Carrey has different eye color? Anyway, before I go on, here's the audio from the reel I sent.
Practice to like crazy, but you know, it's then I watched everybody like talking 1,000 miles an hour up there receiving their awards, and I was like, I'm dead. And I made mistakes, and I was.
You know, I'm not saying it's the real Jim Carrey. I'm not saying that this is not accurately sounding as accurately towards Jim Carrey as possible. I'm not going to say too much, not because of particular groups of people saying I shouldn't be saying something or speak out on whatever. Again, it goes back to the point about Aiden Ross, human sacrifice, his older sister. Regardless of whether those claims are true or not, unless there is evidence or key details being pointed out, these are just rumors that people will say, oh, that's not real. And even when, just like what I've seen posted about Jim Carrey at that award show, even when there are key details being pointed out by people online about different eye color, the facial structure, likeness, charisma, etc., those sets of evidence alone isn't going to be enough to convince people that whatever these claims are even true. And it is the truth, people online would say. Personally, I'm kind of leaning towards this version of Jim Carrey that was at the award show is a completely different version to the Jim Carrey that a lot of people knew for many years. That's not to say that the real Jim Carrey is killed off or being replaced. This version of Jim Carrey could be a stunt double. I'm not sure. I don't recall if Jim Carrey ever did any action movies. If he did, that could be the guy that would step in as his stunt double. It looks very good. The makeup and the mask, very spot on. So, yeah, looks pretty good. Could fool a lot of people. However, not many people aren't going to be convinced. There's always going to be a few amount of people, like myself, they'll look into the key details and realize, hold on a minute, is this actually them, or is it just a stunt double? Or is it just another version that just kind of looks like the person? There's always going to be people that picks up on details right away and realize that is not what it seems. There's something different. So yeah, that is all I have to say. Next Instagram reel I've bulk dumped into the group chat. 23. The text within that Instagram reel reads, "They been lying? 23andMe, lizard DNA. What animal should we do next?" I would say what the video is. I believe the video in question would do a lot of the explaining for me. So here we go.
Wanted to see what would happen if I sent my pet lizard DNA into 23andMe.
They better not have us scam us.
We extracted enough saliva to send off in the mail. We were so excited to see the results.
Oh,
After
let's see.
about 3 months, we were shocked. My lizard was 51% Ashkenazi. It was also 48% West Asian.
What the
This was really interesting. A little bit, etc. Let us know which animal's DNA we should send in next.
So, yeah, apparently you can do a DNA test on your pet animals and see where their heritage goes back to. Now, I'm not sure where the line part comes in regarding doing DNA tests on pet animals. Maybe someone online would say something about this. Maybe there's something that it's not very clear at first. Only eventually, looking into it deeply, we get somewhere. I'm not sure how useful or what purpose doing animal DNA tests would do. And even if the DNA test of animals is being stored in the organizational platform's database that's providing these DNA kits, does that have any impact on the other test results, DNA tests, for actual humans that have actually done the test themselves? That's what I'm wondering. Does that lizard DNA test make a difference to the other results from humans who did their DNA tests with 23andMe, Ancestry, whatever company provides DNA testing kits? Either way, it's quite the pickle. It really boggles the mind, doesn't it? Okay, next Instagram reel I bulk dumped into the group chat. The text within that video reads, "Man crafts realistic snow car, receives parking ticket from NYPD." And here is the audio from that reel.
A New York City man built a car out of snow to protest the city's snow problem, and the car ended up getting a parking ticket. After several heavy snowfalls, the street in front of his house was piled with snow, and he complained that the city government was clearing the snow too slowly making it very difficult for residents to park and for pedestrians to pass. Frustrated, the man used the snow to build a full-size car on the side of the road. He shaped the body, mirrors, and even the windshield so it looked like a real vehicle buried in snow. From a distance, it was easy to mistake it for a parked car. Soon after, a parking officer spotted it and issued a ticket for illegal parking during snow removal hours. The ticket was placed right on the snow windshield. That is when neighbors started laughing and taking photos. A New York City man built a car.
Decided in their free time to build a car, painted the car-shaped snow to make it look like an actual car. For whatever reason, the New York Police Department looked at the car that's obviously made out of snow and thought, yeah, you shouldn't be parking there, man. You need to move immediately. And just gave whoever owned this car, quote unquote, a ticket. And they didn't even bother to double check if this is an actual car or it's just someone using snow to make it look like a car. There are people in this world that are just not the sharpest tools in the shed. I'm concerned for the future. What these people will be doing. Oh boy. Who knows? Who knows? Cops and robbers. Ho ho. Surely, at this point, whoever's working at NYPD, they should know by now that they should actually check if these cars parked next to the pavement are actual cars or it's just snow being mushed up together to make it shaped like a car, and someone just used paint to make it look as realistic as possible. Which, from my perspective, it's not even close to looking real. I don't know how people think that is an actual car, even though it's just a massive pile of snow with paint on it. What kind of world are we living in? Goodness me, someone's got a lot of explaining to do. It's not going to be a good day for anyone if they found out when it's already too late. Alright, next Instagram reel I sent to the group chat in a bulk dump. The text written within that video reads, "Reacting to haters." I recognize the face of this woman I've sent to the group chat is also reacting to, making saying what she had to say. So here we go.
Not a culture issue, that is a classless woman issue. So if you're
She has two good points.
acting like that, it's not because she's from a specific culture. It means that she wasn't raised well.
And now she has none. Don't think that.
Okay. Now, although there is audio, there was something visual, which, for this kind of episode, which is audio only, you won't be able to pick up on. When the woman that made that video said she has two good points, she continues to play the video of this woman that's responding to one of her content. The creator of that video, whose video I've sent to the group chat, the username is za.the.star. She took her left hand and covered the other woman's melons, the breasts of the woman that's reacting to one of that woman's contents. Now she has none. The two good points that the blonde woman responding to that creator in question, the point is down to the melons that that blonde woman has. The boobs. What a response. I would say you gotta be very cautious about how you respond to people. Even if there is humor and major clapbacks that really gets a lot of people talking, in my opinion, I believe it's important that you be creative. Not in a way where interpretation can be taken out, because it can be taken in a way that antagonizes you. It should also be in a way that also makes your point as clear as possible. So yeah, that's just me. Otherwise, Zara the Star, responding to her haters, yeah, she just covered her haters' boobs, saying, That's the point that these haters have. That's if they're women. I'm not sure how she would respond to haters that are men. Well, until that point comes about, we'll have to. Actually, no, we'll just have to wait and see. Yeah, what a comeback. Madness. Another Instagram reel I've sent in a massive bulk send. The text within that video reads elevators or lifts in the UK in Tbilisi in Georgia, the country. And I say the country because anyway, I'm just gonna play the video now.
Elevators in Tbilisi are a little bit different. You either have to use a credit card or you need to put change in. And ours has a code. So we're going to enter a code in, and then you just hit pound, and then you select your trip. And then for about 7 cents, you get to go to your apartment. That way, the only people that pay for the elevator are those who use it.
Wow, seems like capitalism is going hard in Georgia, the country these days. I don't know why. I don't think it's happened at any point in my life. There are people that confuses Georgia, the US state, with Georgia, the country, in the Caucasus, south of Russia. That was the point I'm making, why I specified Georgia, the country, not Georgia, the US state. I know there are people in this world that are honest, right? That's what people make them out to be. I don't think they'll be that subpar intelligent to not know the difference between Georgia, the country, and Georgia, the US state. In fact, they may not know what a Georgia is. Alright. Next Instagram reel I've sent to the group chat in a series of sends all in one go. Now, this video doesn't have much speaking audio, it's just music playing. So, firstly, one of the Instagram reel I just sent, with the text starting off with the Epstein files are so crazy that quote unquote they just dropped all the cures for cancer. And then the reel goes into screenshots from Twitter X showing scientists, one post saying Mexican scientists successfully eliminate HPV, another Twitter X post within the Instagram reel video reading breaking, blood cancer can now be completely treated thanks to Vietnam medical team. Another Twitter X post within that Instagram reel I just sent to the group chat in a bulk send that reads breaking. This is Pihuan Guo, the scientist who has discovered a cure for colorectal cancer lung metastasis. I think I've said that wrong. Full details were published on February 3rd, 2026. Another Twitter X post within that Instagram reel I sent that reads breaking. New data shows mRNA cancer vaccine cuts melanoma recurrence and deaths nearly in half. mRNA technology first proven at scale during COVID can now cut melanoma recurrence and deaths almost in half by teaching the immune system to target cancer. And then another Twitter X post within the Instagram reel that I sent with the caption reading breaking. This is Mariano Rabachid, the scientist who may have discovered the cure for pancreatic cancer. Another Twitter X post within the Instagram reel I sent that reads breaking. Korean scientists reversed colon cancer. And yeah, that's it. It was just a bunch of screenshots from Twitter X showing scientific breakthroughs of curing cancer, or at least finding a cure for a type of cancer. somewhere in our bodies. Firstly, I would say that's great that there is many forms of cures for most forms of cancer. That's great. I'm grateful that there is a cure towards cancer being known publicly. And even though that people will say that this is just a distraction, that people are making the story made known now because, well, A, need something else to distract people from the Epstein files. The situation regarding the Epstein files is so bad. The point of hiding the fact that there is a cure for cancer is pointless. They just may as well as make it public to the world. I'm not going to get into any of that. Even if it's true, as stated by most people online, I'm at least grateful and I'm glad to hear that there is cures for cancer anywhere in our bodies. That I will say. Great to see there's scientific achievements somewhere in today's world against the worst kinds of diseases and viruses that exist in today's world. And final Instagram reel I've sent to the group chat that I've sent a lot to in one go is a video of women somewhere in France trying to escape a store. I'm not sure what kind of store it is, or if it's just a miniature mall with multiple stores across. I'm not sure what they call it. Anyway, what I'm about to play to you now may sound baffling if you can see the visuals. I will play the audio for you now.
All of a sudden, the free door just started closing. And the escalators turned off. And the escalators completely turned off. What? I wonder why. This is so odd. And now we're completely stuck in the middle of land. If this was the US, I would be all my...
I have many questions right now. Whoever was responsible for keeping an eye on securing the site for this shopping center, why now are they deciding to close? Why close when there's still people in the shopping center? And most importantly, if this was fully intentional, they'll just leave the shopping center closed regardless of whoever's in them. What were the people in that shopping center were even thinking when they saw that they were about to close and there was nothing anyone else could do besides trying to make a run to get out of the shopping center as soon as possible before the shutters close fully? I have so many questions. But most importantly, in my opinion, is why people have much of a survival instinct within them to make a run for it, trying to escape the shopping center as quick as possible before the shutters collapse down. That's what I've mainly been thinking. Other concerns like the site managers, whoever's guarding the shopping center, what would they think? Why would they close the shopping center at a time where there were still people in there? It could be argued that the time that these people, these men, women, whoever's closing the shopping center down, even when the time is now to close the shopping center down, where was the announcement? Why weren't the people in the shopping center being told or notified a few minutes in advance, we're about to be closing. Please leave immediately, or as soon as possible. And then the time comes, they close everything down, leaving everyone stranded or trapped. Until tomorrow morning, when they open the shopping center again. So many questions, man. So many. Boy, oh boy. Oy vey. You know? So yeah, that's all of the things that me and the lads have sent the group chat. It's quite a handful in my opinion. especially what I just said recently about shopping center closing down and the instincts of these people. Of course, the comment section of that video, mainly they were talking about the survival instincts of these women. Why didn't you make a run for it? Why would you let yourselves be stranded in the shopping centre? Something I realised later on is, what were these people closing the shopping centre thinking? Why now close the shopping centre when there were still people in there? Was there any announcement made minutes in advance before closing? So that way, people aren't caught by surprise when they do close down. It's just do whatever, man. It doesn't matter. We'll do it anyway, they say. Or think. So yeah, that's all the stuff that me and the lads have sent in the group chat. Just have a look at and so on. With that being said, let's get right into the news. Polymarket removes nuclear detonation betting market amid backlash. I knew this was coming. Overnight, Polymarket removed the detonation market, allowing bets on nuclear strikes by March 1st, June 30th, or before 2027. With the webpage now stating this event has been archived. After reports that an anonymous trader profited over $400,000, users on Twitter X voiced outrage following suspicious trades after Iran-related strikes and Ali Khamenei killings. Platform data show the 2025 contract recorded more than $1.7 million in volume, while a 2023 contract drew nearly $700,000, and an archived snapshot reported over $650,000 in volume as of Tuesday. US regulators are weighing oversight and rules as it remains unclear why Polymarket removed the market or whether users will receive funds, and a Polymarket spokesperson did not respond. Amid ethics concerns, bettors have long speculated on nuclear detonations, but Polymarket removed the market amid scrutiny over government insiders and prior armed conflict markets. I knew there would come a point that people will be discussing the morality and the ethics of prediction-based betting markets. I knew Polymarket and Kalshi being the biggest prediction betting market, they will take off, and it serves as a form of news outlets, given that people would bet on what events are going to happen or would happen eventually. Of course, I knew there will come a point if there were any betting markets or people betting on events about handling of weapons, they won't dare go into how many people will be unalived. That is drawing many lines. For sure, when it comes to nuclear weapons, it's a hot topic. Not just the damage it can do to civilians and buildings, also the aftermath. It's madness. I will say, even when Polymarket does make an announcement saying this was a mistake on our part, we'll do the best we can for next time, we'll not put any markets relating to such events regarding weapons, headcount of civilians, etc. Out of the people that have reacted to betting markets regarding nuclear weapon strikes, there have been lots of social commentary saying, we're living in a dystopia. Because why wouldn't you be living in a dystopia? If people could be making money predicting when nuclear strikes are going to be made, and even when the figures does indicate the likelihood that would happen, there are certain lines that you do not cross under any circumstance. It doesn't matter if it's useful information to people. There are lines you do not cross. Ever. I don't believe any nuclear weapons will ever be used. Not because of the damage it can do to buildings and civilians. Using up nuclear weapons would mean there isn't any chance that if countries are going to threaten any other country with nuclear weapons, they don't have any left to threaten other countries with. And if there are countries that are going to threaten other countries with nuclear weapons, what are the odds they actually use it? I'd say nil. Absolutely nil. Because once they use it, they don't have any left. And even when they use even one of them, the International Court of Justices, or the IC, they're going to be very busy all week, all month, trying to organize an international level case regarding the countries that use such weapons. You do not mess with that. You just don't. TicketMasters' parent company, Live Nation, is facing an antitrust trial that could lead to its breakup. The Department of Justice alleges Live Nation has a monopoly in the live music industry and employs anti-competitive practices. Live Nation maintains it supports artists, brings joy to people's lives, and the government has exaggerated their profits. I don't know, man. If you have a massive monopoly in any sector, don't be surprised you're going to have a court trial regarding how big of a monopoly your company is in any given sector. And you know what? I'm actually glad this is going to happen. Even when Ticketmaster does make a lot of money, well, not as much as what the government of the US is making it out Ticketmaster as, being profitable as it is, Ticketmaster's still making a lot of money from providing tickets, selling tickets to concert goers and music artist fans. A lot of people are saying that the prices of tickets to see their favorite artists is absolutely outrageous. And even when artists themselves would say, we'll provide discounts, there'll be a pre-launch sale of tickets, so you don't have to spend too much money on them. Ticketmaster will find a way to jack up the price, whether it be additional fees, or will it be justifying the price based on how many people are visiting the Ticketmaster website, which a lot of companies and organizations are doing these days to justify how much these companies or organizations would be charging for goods and services to consumers. I'd say give more options to people. Give more options for music artists on the kinds of platforms they want to sell their tickets to their fans on. That isn't just Ticketmaster. I've heard the names Ticketmaster and Live Nation. At the time, I thought there were two completely separate platforms responsible for selling tickets. I'm just realizing now that Live Nation is the parent company of Ticketmaster, and given how much of a monopoly and influence and market that Ticketmaster has in the live music industry, Live Nation is the company that's taking most of the profits from Ticketmaster and use that money for whatever they want, whatever they like, and so on. So finding out that Live Nation is the parent company to Ticketmaster is even worse than thinking that Live Nation and Ticketmaster are two separate companies for selling tickets. What a pickle that is. Guernsey, the island retreat 1 hour from the UK with Caribbean seas. Less than an hour from London, Guernsey, Channel Island, is promoted as a mostly tech-free wellness getaway. Visit Guernsey invited the author in September 2025 to showcase it. Alastair Ulke, senior reporter, reported on 4th of March 2026. Visit Guernsey staged a 6-day September 20th in 22 creators with a combined audience of over 2.5 million people. To attract young travelers, organizers say. On Helm, where there are no cars and few street lamps, visitors can enjoy a wood-fired sauna near the Guernsey bathing pools, and stargazing opportunities due to total darkness. Repeat visitors sustain Guernsey's hotels and restaurants for organizers say under 35s coming, which may challenge its tranquility soon. A half-hour ferry to Hem connects St. Peter Port with the White House Hotel, which only operates from May to the end of September, limiting overnight stays. Now that is a very good selling point for any tourism board. Very limited technology, total darkness at night where you can look at the stars. Brilliant. I might actually consider going there for a holiday at some point. Not this year though, because I'll be visiting family in Brazil somewhere in summer. Otherwise, at any other point, I might consider going to Guernsey at some point. For the reasons that people are going to. Oh, that sounds like a great idea. Of course, knowing this story has been made public, I think a lot of people would have the same idea. Eventually, overcrowding, over-tourism, eventually becomes an issue. Let's just see how Guernsey handles the tourism impact and capacity for its entire island. If there's no way of sustaining the number of people that's on the island, then there will come a point where Guernsey will either charge tourists to come to Guernsey for who knows how many days, or possibly have a limit on how many people can come to the island all in one go. Possibly both options is what Guernsey might likely go for. That's just me. We'll have to wait and see what comes next, so on and so forth. And that is it for the episode.